meteorologist Tim Miller. Weather coverage you can count on. The Live Viper 6 Skyview Network, sponsored by Terry Lambert Hyundai.
The heat is on this holiday weekend. I'll have all you can expect with the temperatures and maybe a little rain in the forecast, all coming up.
Now on News Channel 6 at 4, a big announcement for a local student athlete. South Carolina's top-ranked wide receiver reveals where he'll play his college football. We'll take you there. Plus, local reaction to the Supreme Court's ruling against the president's student loan forgiveness plan. And making sure fireworks on the 4th are a blast, not a bust, when it comes to safety. As your news at 4 starts now.
Live from Television Park, this is WJBF News Channel 6 at 4.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Jenny Montgomery. Thank you so much for joining us. Brad is off today. Coverage you can count on begins with one of the top college football recruits in our area about to make a big decision live right here on WJBF News Channel 6. Sports Director Brendan Robertson is live at the home of local standout Braylon Staley. Hey there, Brendan.
Hi there, Jenny. Yeah, we are live in Graniteville in front of a packed house, the home of Braylon Staley, four-star recruit, regarded by many as the top wide receiver in the state of South Carolina, top 20 nationally, coming off a huge junior season, headed into his senior season. But before that, going to make his college commitment announcement right here live. Narrowed it down to your top four, Braylon. It's either the ACC or the SEC, Miami, Clemson, Tennessee, and North Carolina. So I'll let you take it over and tell us where you're going.
Okay, so first off, I just want to say thank you to my parents and really everybody that came out to support me. I want to say thank you to my teammates, my granddaddy, my coaches, everybody who prayed for me during this journey. It was a tough journey. It was stressful, but now I just want to say for the next 3 to 4 years, I'll be taking my talents to the University of
Well, congratulations, Rocky Top. I know Ball Nation is thrilled to have you headed their way to Knoxville. Tell us what it was about Tennessee that's where you decided to go.
I say really culture and really just the coaches. It's a great place. The coaches, I built great relationships with them since day one. Receiver coach, even on the defensive side, it's just like a father and son relationship with them guys. So I really love it.
They talked to you about your role. You expect to play early up there, out wide?
Yes, sir. So they said I can either play outside slot or maybe even in the backfield, swimming right, swimming left, just to give me the ball in open space.
Congratulations. Got a senior season ahead of you, too. We look forward to that. So, Jenny, you heard it. Rocky Top. He's headed to the University of Tennessee. Live at the home of Braylon Staley. Back to you.
Brendan, thanks so much. And do tell Braylon my husband is a big Vols fan. He'll be cheering him right along. Moving on now, in a 6-3 ruling today, the Supreme Court ruled that President Biden exceeded his authority with the student loan forgiveness plan. It would have eliminated up to $20,000 of student loan debt per borrower. The Supreme Court's decision is drawing strong reaction from local college students. Graham Lee has more on what this means for them.
The Biden administration's plan would have knocked out student loan debt for 26 million Americans nationwide. Tonight here at USC-Aiken, students say they're disappointed with the Supreme Court's decision. Friday morning, the Supreme Court said no to Biden's goal to ease the financial burden on families across the country. But now the question is what this means for college students in the CSRA. Peter Flores is a junior accounting major at USC-Aiken, and he says he has mixed feelings about what happened in Washington.
And this was a decision that at least will benefit the taxpayers, or should benefit the taxpayers. However, I do think that there should be something in consideration for those students who cannot pay or cannot afford to pay back loans for college, which is very expensive right now.
Students like Flores hope the loan dates will at least be adjusted. This way, students have more time to pay the loans back. In Aiken, Graham Lee, WJBF News Channel.
Nearly a year after a young man was killed in Denmark, South Carolina, his family is still grieving. Tony Tyrese Nimmons graduated with honors from high school and college. He was an accomplished varsity basketball player at two different schools. Tragically, at the age of 20, he was found dead in a vehicle at the intersection of Plum Alley and Peterkin Street on September 28th of last year.
It's a hurting feeling. It's a hurting feeling. Not only because of my son's death, but all these people I grew up with around here know what happened. That's the hurting thing about it.
What happened in that case, you're urged to call authorities. Another hot and humid day today, but could we see some showers to cool things off? Sherry Sheely joins us now to answer that.
Yes, so definitely the heat and humidity is here to stay, but maybe some sprinkles and storms in the forecast, but it won't be cooling us down a whole lot. It is just going to be a hot and humid weekend. Taking a live look at our Terry Lambert Hyundai Skyview cam downtown Aiken, you can see we've had this cloud cover most of the day today that's kind of kept temperatures lower today, but just kind of made for a gloomy sky, right, to start off this holiday weekend. Looking at the satellite radar, you can see those clouds rolling in, and we do have showers to our west, already moving south of I-20. West of Atlanta, not really anything for us to be concerned with, but since it is a holiday weekend, if you're hitting the roads traveling, something to keep in mind if you're heading that direction, some severe thunderstorms in that direction. But back at home, we've just got the heat. 92 degrees here in Augusta, 88 in Aiken, 93 in Louisville, and more 80s across the board. So it is toasty, and it is also sticky out there on our outdoor comfort meter. We are at a 2, so very, very muggy, and what that means, it feels even hotter. So our heat index values up to 97 here in Augusta, triple digit in Louisville. So when you factor in that humidity, it is feeling pretty warm out there. But for your after work planner, so we're getting ready to kick off a long holiday weekend, and it's going to be nice and warm for us this afternoon. Increasing clouds, but then we will cool down once that sun goes down into the upper 80s by 8 o'clock tonight. So what you can expect, it's going to be hot, hot, hot this weekend with increasing humidity. And we do have a chance of some isolated showers and storms. I'll have all the details on what you can expect for this Viper 6 alert weekend coming up.
All right, we'll check in with you again later, Sherry. Thank you. Hot temperatures can also affect your health. It can cause dehydration, heat stroke, even death. And if you're spending a lot of time outdoors this weekend, you'll want to monitor your body's reaction and look for warning signs. Things like headaches, rapid pulse, and dizziness are all concerning, and you should seek medical attention.
A big thing to look out for also and to monitor is your urination. You want to make sure that you're urinating frequently throughout the day, at least, I would say, at least 4 times a day. And also the color of your urine. We want it to be like a nice pale color. If it starts getting darker, or again, like you're not urinating, then that's clearly a big sign of dehydration.
If you don't have access to an air conditioner, we have a list of cooling centers on our website, Wjbf.com. If you're stocking up on food and firecrackers this week, you're not alone. But a lot of budgets for the holiday aren't what they used to be. It is the busiest week of the year for Lanier's Meat Market. The owner says the cost of beef is higher because of inflation and supply and demand, but they still have some good deals. Over at Wacky Wayne's, fireworks are a little more expensive this year because of shipment costs, but the owner says they'll keep trying to keep prices as low as they can. Fort Gordon is kicking off the holiday weekend with a huge celebration tonight. It's from 6 p.m. until 11 o'clock at Barton Field. The free event is open to the public. It includes a carnival and food vendors, musical acts. Vertical Horizon and Bowling for Soup will be providing live entertainment. The event will wrap up with a massive fireworks show. Pets, tents, and coolers are not allowed. We have live coverage starting at 6 o'clock. Local medical centers want to make sure you shoot off fireworks safely over the holiday. Each 4th of July, thousands of people go to the hospital with fireworks-related injuries. There are some steps you can take to make sure you're not one of those spending Independence Day in the hospital.
While it's a wonderful time to gather with friends and family and have a good time, we have to, consider safety for this weekend. And that's not necessarily just the fireworks that is commonly associated with the 4th of July, but also, grilling and cooking and all the things that potentially can cause thermal injuries from those activities as well.
Dr. Fagan says if you suffer a burn, use lukewarm water and a light dressing until you can get it treated. Independence Day can be scary for dogs because of the loud noises from fireworks and the bright lights. Here are some tips to keep your dog safe and comfortable. Put them in a quiet room with a TV, a fan, or other background noise, and give them a treat or toy to keep them distracted. You may also want to talk to your vet about calming aids. Local animal services take in runaway animals each year from the fireworks.
They don't know where they are and panic, and a lot of times they'll run away from home and just keep running. And they come into the shelters. They can be miles away from home.
Older dogs could be more sensitive to the loud noises. It's important to have an updated photo of them in case they do run away, and have a tag that includes your name, address, and phone number. McDuffie County's Animal Services Director has resigned. Wendy Ivy's last day in that position was Wednesday. She was named the director back in February after serving as Director of Animal Services in Bullock County. You'll remember the shelter closed last summer after allegations of animal abuse. An investigation found no evidence of abuse, though. McDuffie County's Community Development Director says they're in the process of finding an interim director and hope to have that role filled soon. A historic giant cup on Wrightsboro Road in Augusta has a new look. Remember, we told you this was happening. Several different companies have occupied the building over the years, but that 40-foot cup has stood tall for a long time right in the front of the building. After renovation plans were in place, mural artist Addison Nade was put in charge to make the transformation happen. There's a new energy drink gaining popularity, but one version of it is not safe for children. What doctors are sounding the alarm about, and what they say is a better option.
Mondays at 12:30 on News Channel 6.
A new warning for parents today as a new drink gains popularity among children. One version of the beverage packs quite a caffeine punch. Sam Spangler reports on the potential dangers of Prime.
Prime. You'll see people carrying it in places like parks and schools these days. The hydration drink is in a bottle and contains no caffeine. The energy drink, however, is in a 12-ounce can, sporting 200 milligrams of caffeine. For reference, a 12-ounce can of Red Bull has 114 milligrams. A cup of coffee has about 95. Prime Energy says the drink is for ages 18 plus, but you can see how parents can be confused between the two similar looks. That amount of caffeine, or any, isn't a good idea for kids.
Certainly I see that in my clinic here where young children come in and their blood pressure is high. And with a few questions, we figured out that they drink way too much caffeine coming in. So you can give yourself high blood pressure. You can even give yourself chest pain from drinking too much caffeine.
Or even adults.
1 cup of coffee a day, maybe 2, but really 1 cup of coffee a day of regular old school coffee would be the top end of what would be allowable for health for an adult.
Dr. Carlisle says, more importantly, it can negatively impact a kid's sleep.
Caffeine use will interfere with the sleep pattern for children. And sleep isn't just about resting and getting ready for school the next day. It's also when all of our healing occurs and when our growth occurs. So for good mental health, for good physical health, really 0 milligrams of caffeine is what a child should get, and certainly not 200 milligrams.
So what should they drink? A great inexpensive alternative? Good old-fashioned water.
Water is the best. Better than fruit juice, better than energy drinks, better than anything else that's out there. Get yourself your good 2 to 3 glasses of milk a day if you can tolerate it. And otherwise, water is what children need. Water is what you and I need.
That's exactly what my mother always said. Millions of Americans are under air quality alerts due to Canadian wildfires. But will it reach the CSRA? Sherry Shealy has the answer next in weather.
I'm attorney Jamie.
Now, your most accurate forecast with WJBF Live Viper 6.
Taking a look at our Terry Lambert Hyundai Skyview cam over at Augusta Regional, you can see it is a little hazy, cloudy, maybe even a little smoky, but overall not too bad of a day, and winds are starting to pick up a little bit. So winds coming from the northwest at 9 miles per hour and feeling like it's 92 air temp, but feeling like 97 degrees outside. So a little bit toasty out there, and visibility is limited down to 5 miles. So keep that in mind as you head on the roads this afternoon to kick off the holiday weekend. Looking across the nation, woo, we've got some hot temperatures there. Triple digits at 100 degrees in Little Rock. We're at 92 here in Augusta, in the 80s to Raleigh, and you've got to go all the way up to Maine to get those comfortable temperatures in the 60s. So it is hot all across the board. In fact, we have several heat alerts right now. So that high pressure and ridging is really creating some hot temperatures all across the southeast. We've got heat advisories, excessive heat watches and warnings. And at the latest update, we now are included in that heat advisory. So through July 3rd, from Wilkes County all the way down to Emmanuel is included in that advisory. And I would not be surprised if more of us are included in that as we go through the weekend, because it is going to be hot, hot, hot this weekend. We do have a 5 or 6 alert day issue for Saturday and Sunday. Not only are those air temperatures going to be warm in the upper 90s, but check out these heat indices, 104 to 108 over the weekend. So definitely keep that in mind as you plan your weekend activities. I know we've got a lot going on, but here's some tips to think about as you head out the door and make your weekend plans. Definitely want to stay indoors if possible. Of course, in the AC is the best place to be, but if you have to be outside, limit that time and also stay hydrated, wear light colored clothing, and of course, if you got to be by the pool or the beach, that's a good place to be. So drink plenty of water and maybe even be in the water to keep comfortable this weekend. Look at our future cast, what you can expect. So we've got temperatures here in the 90s starting off this afternoon. We've got a few clouds here and there, maybe some sprinkles this afternoon, but overall mostly clear this afternoon. Temperatures will drop into the 80s as we move into those afternoon hours, and there's some scattered sprinkles here around midnight, so overnight hours tonight. And as we move into Saturday, we see some clearing at first in the morning, temperatures in the 80s at 9 o'clock in the morning. And as we move into that lunch hour, that's when we start to see this widespread event coming through. Some heavy pockets of showers and storms in that afternoon hour. So keep that in mind. It does bring the temperatures down a little bit, so that's a good thing. But going to need that umbrella handy for your Saturday afternoon. But then we'll start to see some clearing Saturday evening, and into Sunday looks much better rain-wise. But again, those temperatures will start soaring back into the 90s, upper 90s, heat indices in triple digit form on Sunday. So if the heat's not enough, we also are under a severe weather outlook, marginal all across the board tomorrow. So that's also included in that 5 or 6 alert day as well. But back at home tonight, so looking pretty good. Some clouds, some spotty showers, but overnight temperatures in those 70s. So if you're planning on going out to Fort Gordon, that starts here just a bit at 5 o'clock. Hot and muggy, but it should be a good event to celebrate. And then, of course, we've got the whole weekend to celebrate, but it's just going to be hot. So just stay safe, hydrated, and cool out there as you celebrate. At our 10-day forecast, again, 5 or 6 alert days for this weekend, mainly because of the heat, but also have those scattered storms and showers to consider tomorrow afternoon. But the heat is here, and it's here to stay for a while.
It really is. No doubt it's July 4th weekend.
Yes, I guess it's that time of year, right?
All right. Thank you, Sherry. South Carolina leaders unveil the state's first statewide resilience and risk reduction plan. /action. Finally, this half hour, we want to say a fond farewell to our Vice President and General Manager, Bill Stewart. Today's his last day at the helm of Wjbf News Channel 6. Bill's retiring after more than 5 decades in the broadcast industry. We are so grateful for his leadership these many years. Bill, the family here at WJBF wishes you all the best, and we hope you and Martha Jean make wonderful memories and have lots of fun as you begin this new chapter of your lives. And I know you're just thrilled to see your mug there on the TV. But we're going to miss that mug. Good luck to you, Bill. There is more coverage you can count on coming up next on News Channel 6 at 4:30, including 2 major decisions from the Supreme Court today. What those rulings mean for you and your family after the break.
The Live 5 or 6 Skyview Network, sponsored by Terry Lambert Hyundai.
The holiday weekend is among us, and it's going to be hot, hot, hot. I'll have all the details for you coming up.
Now at 4:30, no more relief for millions of student loan borrowers. The president strongly disagreeing with the Supreme Court's ruling just out today. Plus, a popular gas station chain making a pit stop in the Tar Heel state. Why not here? Which city is putting in their bid to bring the first Buc-ee's to North Carolina? And some say sharing is caring, but one major retailer says not so fast. The popular wholesaler cracking down on shoppers who don't pay to play. Your news at 4:30 starts now.
Live from Television Park, this is WJBF News Channel 6 at 4:30.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Dee Griffin. Thanks so much for joining us. We continue with a landmark decision on student loan debt out of the Supreme Court. Justices striking down President Biden's plan to wipe away $400 billion in student loan debt. Here's Rena Roy with the latest.
In a major blow to the Biden administration, the Supreme Court blocking the president's student loan forgiveness program in a 6-3 decision. The plan would have wiped out more than $400 billion in debt, up to $20,000 for millions of borrowers, like 33-year-old Ashley Robinson.
You're trying to make these payments. I know I've made at least 100 at this point. They haven't gone anywhere, so it literally is like a hamster wheel.
Federal student loan debt payments now set to restart once again in October after being paused for the last 3 years. The White House had approved the debt relief plan under the HEROES Act, but Republican states pushed back, accusing the administration of executive overreach.
Whether or not you think student loan debt relief is a good policy, it's a policy that should be the result of legislation by laws passed by Congress and not by executive fiat.
Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer in a statement saying this disappointing and cruel ruling shows the callousness of the MAGA Republican-controlled Supreme Court. Advocates of the plan vowing to fight back.
But I think the message we want to send strongly to student loan borrowers is this is not over. We will have our day again in the court, and we will eventually win.
And this Supreme Court decision will impact Black Americans the most, with one analysis by Brandeis University showing Black borrowers on average still owe 95% of their original student loans 20 years after applying for it. Rena Roy, ABC News, New York. The Supreme Court handing down another big decision today. Justices ruling in a case involving religion and LGBTQ plus rights. The court is siding with the Christian Colorado graphic artist. Justices say the artist can refuse to serve same-sex couples based on her religious beliefs. They found a Colorado anti-discrimination law would force artists to do work that goes against their ideology. Dissenting justices say the decision will give businesses a constitutional right to refuse service to all members of a protected class. Meanwhile, Republican presidential candidate Tim Scott says colleges should stop legacy-based admissions. And that's when a college or university gives preference to applicants based on whether a family member graduated from that school. His comments come after the Supreme Court on Wednesday limited the use of race as a factor in college admissions. Applicants can still mention their race in essays and interviews. Scott praised the Supreme Court's decision, saying it's something the country should, quote, celebrate. A weekend of Viper 6 alert days are ahead, we're told, and meteorologist Sherry Shealy joins us now with a look ahead. Uh-oh. That's all I can say is uh-oh.
Uh-oh, it's right.
Buckle up, Buttercup.
But the main threat is the heat, which we can, have relief from that thanks to modern technology with some AC, right? But taking a look right now outside of our Terry Lambert Hyundai Skyview Cam in Swainsboro, so lots of clouds in the sky, but it looks like the sun is trying to peep out a little bit there. But thankfully, those clouds kept temps down a little bit today, so something to be thankful for, right? Looking at our satellite and radar, so you can see those clouds moving through the CSR right now, but all the storms are well off to our west, moving south of Atlanta right now. So if you are traveling for the holiday weekend, keep that in mind. If you're hopping on I-20 and heading west, you might run into some showers and storms that way. But here at home, we're looking pretty good. Just some clouds and a lot of heat. So 92 degrees here in Augusta, 90 in Barnwell, 93 in Louisville, and some upper 80s in McCormick and Saluda alike. But then if the air temperature is not enough, we have to factor in the humidity, which we are at a 2 on our Muggy meter. So it's very sticky, very humid out there, which when you factor that in with your heat index values, we have over triple-digit heat indices in Louisville. Louisville, up to 97 in Waynesboro and Augusta. So when you factor that in, it is very toasty out there. But we are almost to the weekend. If you've got plans for after work into this evening, definitely going to be a hot one with lots of clouds. But we will start cooling down after sunset and be in the upper 80s by 8 o'clock this evening. So it's going to be hot, hot, hot for the next several days. But hey, it's the end of June moving into July. So we've got that humidity and heat to deal with. And of course, the Viper 6 alert weekend, all the details on that and what you can expect coming up. Back to you, Dee.
All right, thanks so much, Sherry. We'll see you in a few minutes. A judge has rejected an attempt by former President Trump to dismiss a second defamation lawsuit by writer E. Jean Carroll. In court filings, Trump's lawyer claims he can't be held liable for calling Carroll an opportunistic liar in 2019 on grounds of presidential immunity. Carroll is suing Trump, saying he defamed her after going public with allegations that he raped her in a store dressing room. In a separate case, a jury found Trump liable of sexually abusing Carroll and awarded her $5 million. Costco cracking down on shoppers who share their membership cards. The popular retailer is enforcing stricter rules so people who aren't members can't make purchases with someone else's card. Company executives say they've noticed an uptick in non-members at self-service checkouts. Workers will now ask for an ID when shoppers check themselves out.
The more people pay, the better the deals that they really can give out, because they can make up for any minimized profit on a deal by selling memberships.
A Costco membership costs $60 a year. Store bosses say it's important revenue and it helps them give their customers deep discounts. When it comes to cross-country driving, the name Buc-ee's is quickly becoming an institution on highways. I love Buc-ee's. I love Buc-ee's. Okay, we got that out of the way. And one just may be headed to North Carolina, but I want one here. We'll check the story out.
Buc-ee's might not be in North Carolina, but it sure has fans here.
Never heard of a Buc-ee's, but when I walked in, I was like, oh, man.
Best of all, there's some amazing brisket sandwiches there.
And they're excited about Buc-ee's request for the city of Mebane to rezone around 32 acres of this land so a Buc-ee's can be built. James Green drives from Raleigh to Mebane every day and says he would be a frequent customer.
Just way better than anything else around here.
It would be along I-40 and Trollingwood-Hawfields Road with a more than 75,000 square foot building, 120 gas pumps, and of course, beavers.
The project is massive.
Mebane Mayor Ed Hook says Buc-ee's would bring extra money and high-paying jobs.
People are talking about it. We're excited about it, as we are any industry that are commercial development coming to Mebane, and we just see how it plays out.
Mayor Hook says there would have to be major infrastructure changes to accommodate the volume of cars that Buc-ee's would bring, including to highway on-ramps and widening Trollingwood Road. The project's traffic impact analysis estimates more than 2,000 cars stopping by during peak hours on Saturdays. That volume concerns Kelly Young, who lives nearby. She says the area does not need another gas station, but
I would just go see what it's about. I don't know if I would make it a habit unless it was worth my time.
In 2021, Buc-ee's withdrew its application for a site in Orange County after more than 5,000 people signed a petition against the site.
I would love to have a Buc-ee's right down the road. I would love to have one. I can get my beef briskets down there too.
Mayor Hook says the city and DOT will review the plans for the next 3 to 4 months and says November is likely the earliest it would go to the full city council for public hearings and a vote.
And if you can't wait for Buc-ee's to open in North Carolina, don't worry, just head south. There's one in Florence, South Carolina. It opened last May. Well, I want to put in my bid. I want Buc-ee's here. Don't y'all agree we need a Buc-ee's here, like the CSRA? Okay, let's all make this happen. Well, coming up,
the Marvel Universe is back with its 9th TV series. I'm Courtney Friel. Up next, I'll talk with the cast of Secret Invasion. That's coming up in entertainment.
Mobile app.
Book direct flights to Washington, D.C. at flyags.com.
Disney Plus has a new series from Marvel. It's called Secret Invasion and features Samuel L. Jackson and Olivia Colman. Courtney Friel gives us a preview. Hi there. Samuel L. Jackson is teaming up with some well-known Brits for this action-packed TV show on Disney Plus.
Fury, since you've been gone, things have gotten much worse.
Secret Invasion is the 9th television series in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. And it's been a minute since we've seen Samuel L. Jackson as Nick Fury.
How you think I came back?
When he comes back and he needs to be Nick Fury again, everybody's telling him, you're not Nick Fury anymore. You don't have what it takes to be that guy anymore. And that's not something you can tell Nick Fury without him trying to fix it.
You're in no shape for this fight that lies before us, old friend. Olivia Colman, best known for The Crown, was excited to work with Jackson and be welcomed into the Marvel world.
I was so excited that my first scene ever in Marvel was going to be with Sam. And that sort of, God, I hope he likes me. I hope he... And then we met and just went, and got the giggles and just had a lovely time.
In this show, Nick Fury and Talos are trying to uncover a conspiracy by a group of shape-shifting Skrulls to conquer Earth. Ben Mendelsohn never thought his role of Talos would be revived.
No, this was completely unexpected. And like so much in life, if you knew that this was how things were going to turn out, boy, you'd worry a lot less.
Emilia Clarke of Game of Thrones fame is also back as Talos' daughter.
You don't know what they have planned for you.
She says the GOT and Marvel fans are the absolute best.
It just like hits your heart. It's really wonderful. It's really, really nice. Like I started a charity and my beautiful Game of Thrones fans came to my rescue.
One last fight.
Secret Invasion is streaming now on Disney Plus. With your entertainment report, I'm Courtney Friel. Ooh, that looks good. My son and I need to watch that one. Well, one of New Orleans' most popular annual festivals continues today. 500,000 more people are in the Big Easy for the annual Essence Music Festival of Culture. The weekend-long event features a lineup of artists. This year, each day will pay tribute to 50 years in hip-hop. The lineup includes Missy Elliott, Lauryn Hill, El Boogie. All right, Dougie Fresh, another favorite, and Jilly from Philly, Jill Scott, plus many more. Today, Vice President Kamala Harris is expected to give the event's keynote address. We'll be right back.
Now, your most accurate forecast with WJBF Live Viper 6.
So we are just minutes away from kicking off the long holiday weekend, and it's looking pretty good out there. Just a little cloudy, but looking at our Terry Lambert Hyundai Skyview cave, you can see it's bright out there. We just got the sunshine tucked behind a layer of clouds, a little bit of haze. Wind's starting to pick up as Old Glory is starting to blow in the breeze. Wind's coming from the northwest at 9 miles per hour, but feels like 97 degrees. It's humidity at 46%, dew points in the upper 60s. So it is warm out there, and also visibility is limited here in Augusta down to 5 miles. So keep that in mind as you hit the roads and head home this afternoon. Across the nation, you see lots of these warm color gradients as we are warm almost from coast to coast. Triple digits at 100 degrees in Little Rock, 95 in Birmingham, 92 here in Augusta. Have to go all the way up to Maine to make it into those low 60s. So lots of 80s, 90s, and even hundreds on the board. So last day of June really going out with a bang there. So we do have several heat advisories in effect across the southeast. So we've got excessive heat warnings, this hot pink color, and heat advisories, that peachy color, which if you pay attention, it is now extended into our neck of the woods. So through July 3rd, from Wilkes down to Emmanuel County, all these counties in peach are included in that heat advisory. But if you're not in that color gradient, don't ignore it, because it's going to be hot for you as well. And that advisory might extend eastward, I think, maybe throughout the weekend, because it is going to be hot, hot, hot. So we do have Viper 6 alert days for both Saturday and Sunday. Notice the air temperatures warm enough in those upper 90s, the heat indice values in the triple digits. So 104 for your Saturday, 108 for Sunday and Monday. And moving into Independence Day, still just as hot. So some safety tips to consider if you have plans. I know it's a busy weekend, lots of outdoor activities, but the best place you can be is indoors in the AC, feeling good. But if you have to be outside, make sure to limit your time, find some shade, wear some light colored clothing, and definitely stay hydrated and check on your pets and the elderly and those that are vulnerable as you enjoy the weekend. So let's look at what's going on with our future cast. We talked about the temperatures, but let's see what's going on otherwise. So tonight, some clouds in the area. Might can have some isolated sprinkles here and there throughout the evening hours, but nothing widespread. As we move into our Saturday, we'll see a little bit of clearing. See temperatures start to increase into the 80s at 9 o'clock in the morning. Those will continue into the 90s by lunchtime, but then as we move into those early afternoon hours, we have this widespread rain and storms really moving into the area. Some cells look like they could pack a punch, maybe some severe storms there. Some gusty winds, heavy rain, and that also brings our temperatures down a little bit. But as those clear out, we will see some clearing, increase in clouds, and temperatures in those upper 70s to 80s in the evening hours. And then Sunday, we'll see the heat return. Lots of sunshine, some clouds here and there. But our best chance of rain definitely coming in on Saturday. So we are under a severe weather outlook throughout the whole CSRA for your Saturday. So we've got the heat, and we've also got some isolated severe weather to consider as well. But for tonight, if you have plans, how about head over to Fort Gordon starting just in a little bit here at 5 o'clock. It's going to be hot, but it should be a good time to enjoy celebrating the weekend. So your evening planner in the 90s for the next couple hours, but then we'll start cooling down once that sun goes down into the 80s, and can't rule out an isolated shower or storm here in those overnight hours into the late evening. So for your 10-day forecast, 5 or 6 alert days on your Saturday and Sunday for the heat, and also for isolated showers and storms in the afternoon. And those hot temperatures and showers will continue for the next several days. We'll be right back.
It's Harry.
Mobile app. Download it today.
And we want to say a fond farewell to our Vice President and General Manager, Bill Stewart. Today is his last day at the helm of Wjbf News Channel 6. Mr. Stewart is retiring after more than 5 decades in the broadcast industry. We're so grateful for his leadership these many, many, many years. We hope Mr. Stewart and his beautiful wife, Martha Jean, have so much fun as their new chapter of life begins, and we're just so honored and grateful and wish them the best. And don't forget about us. Come back and see us sometime. Well, coming up on News Channel 6 at 5, the Supreme Court's ruling against President Biden's student loan forgiveness plan has some lawmakers up in arms and others celebrating. We'll have a look coming up.